Benjamin Franklin was just a giant perverted asshole.
I loved him.
Oh, he was great. And all these guys
Yeah.
are great. I'm not judging any of them, but he wasn't. He was of limited use because he was intrigued by America, but he didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He never would have shed a fucking any blood or sweat or tears for the country. He just was interested, and he had a huge brain, so he'd lend it when he felt like.
All of his inventions he would never patent. Which
Really?
is pretty sick. He was like, all my inventions are for everybody.
Yeah, he was
Tight.
for what do you call it? Open source.
Open source,
But
yeah.
he did get a little jealous because all of a sudden, because he was the man.
Yeah.
He was the American that everybody loved.
Be frank.
And then Washington became the man.
The general.
Like the French were like General Washington's the guy. So he got a little. There's some pretty sick quotes about slavery too, that he was like, I am racist.
He was living in London, and there was a guy who worked for him, kind of like a half tradesman kind of guy, who he befriended. And the guy had a woman he wanted to marry, a maiden, but he didn't have a position, and he didn't have his own home yet. So, and his mother didn't want. I don't remember all the logistics, but it was that that he asked Benjamin if he could move his wife into his house so that they could marry, and he said sure. And he said, and she moved into my home, and then I took it of my pleasure to
Fucked her.
to partake of her sexually, and she spurned my advances, so I threw her out, and that was the end of their marriage. And I never saw him again. He was real upset, and I never saw him again.
Monroe was kind of the man. Monroe was the last founding father to be a president, fought in the Revolutionary War, was at Valley Forge. He came up with the Monroe Doctrine, which is neutrality. Mm-hmm. We got the Americas. Nobody fuck with us.
All the source of all our problems was these other fucking European countries being involved in their wars. So he was the first guy to go,
yeah, we're never going to go get
want.
involved in their wars.
Oh, yeah.
Monroe got Florida from the Spanish.
Nice.
So the reason that happened, though, was because of Jackson. Because Jackson was taking his troops to Florida, and Monroe was sending a guy on a horse, or I don't know if they had telegrams yet, but it'd take him 8 days to say, leave Florida alone. We're trying to negotiate a price. But finally, Monroe decided, we don't want Florida anymore. They're asking the Spanish owned it. We can't afford to buy it. I can't justify it. I'm not going to get it through Congress. And Jackson was writing back and saying, I'm just going to take it. I'm just going to take it militarily. I'm going to attack them. And Monroe said, no, you may not. I'm the president. You may not do that. And Jackson just ignored him.
Started attacking
and he
him.
did it.
What?
He took Florida, and then he showed up in D.C. and was like, right? That was good, right? And Monroe's like, yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, he's like, but also I bought it.
Good job. Yeah, also I think
He
we
paid for it.
We paid for it, and it was a mess.
While Jackson was like fucking with them, the Spanish were like, to Monroe, they were like, yeah, you can buy it.
He just went and killed him.